We're live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Out of the Darkness, man. I have been looking forward to this show for a while. So thank you guys for joining us. And man, so let's go around real quick so everybody knows Doug in Exile, Doug TenNapel in Exile. So for those of you guys who don't know Doug, Doug TenNapel in Exile is his channel. Doug is one of my very dear friends, and so I asked him to be on this stream, and he was all over it. Never even let me think about it. Just, hey, I'm there. And for those of you guys that are new to the channel, this is Soder down here in your, I guess, bottom right. Soder has been with me since day one. We started the channel together. So he kind of hides behind the scenes lately and does all the technical stuff and keeps things up and going. So he is a vital part of the team. So thank you very much. And this other fine gentleman over here is Topher. Many of you guys have heard me talk about him. I've put some of his music up. Very, very talented guy. Very, very talented guy. Unfortunately, under attack. So y'all make sure you keep him covered in your prayers. People don't like it when people decide to think for themselves. So,
and just being talented, they don't like that either.
You know, that's true. I mean, there's a lot.
If he was mediocre, they wouldn't care.
Yeah, nobody cares about a mediocre conservative. But boy, if you strive to be excellent, boy, you know they don't want that. They don't want that. You can be lukewarm all you want to, but boy, don't get on fire. So. Yeah. But man, so fantastic to have you, Doug. I'm going to get into talking to you a little bit, but of course we know each other pretty well. But Topher, I want to talk to you a little bit. So it's pronounced Topher, right?
Yeah,
pronouncing that correct? All right. Mm-hmm. So where are you from, man? I detect a little bit of an accent. You're not up here in Minnesota where I'm at. So where are you from originally?
I'm from Mississippi, and I currently reside in Mississippi. So, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool, man. I'm from the South myself. How I wound up here in Minnesota, I don't know. Not my wisest decision, I don't think. Especially on a day like today, it is cold. It is really cold.
You live on the moon.
You might as well.
I couldn't do it, man. I've had enough snow. When I was in the military, we did SEER training. And we went way up in the mountains of Spokane, Washington, almost to the border of Canada in February around this time. And we stayed out there for 6 days and 5 nights, like in the snow in the mountains. I'm like, nope. I had enough falling through 4 feet of snow and just, nope, I'm done. I don't want to see snow ever again.
You're in the Air Force, is that right?
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
The Air Force. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your service for sure. We're a big military family out here, so we definitely appreciate our men and women. So give us a little bit about your background, man. So you're from Mississippi, grew up there in Mississippi. Still family in Mississippi then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all my family's here for the most part, at least my intermediate family. And then I'm married. I have 2 daughters. One is 5, one is 1. And so I'm a family father guy. Make sure I'm raising the next generation and trying to help inspire the next generation. But I come from, a lot of people think because of my beliefs that I didn't face the everyday obstacles that most people complain about. But no, I did. I grew up in a single parent household. I'm in Mississippi. Just start that out, right? So Mississippi is a challenge itself. So I grew up in Mississippi, single mother household. My mom was a really bad alcoholic, and I saw domestic abuse almost weekly. So I understand seeing that violence and everything. And so what made me really want to do better was just I didn't want my kids to go through the same thing. I feel like that's what a lot of parents do. Like they want better for their kids, so that's why they work so hard. They try to get those jobs. They try to put in that overtime because they don't want their kids to go through the same things or lack. Like they had when they was growing up. So that's the same motivation most parents have. And on top of that, I just wanted to show everyone where I'm from because I graduated with 22 people. That was my graduation class. So very small town. I think population 700 to 800 people.
Wow.
So nothing big at all. We didn't have many resources. Like I said, I played both. When I played football, I played both sides because we only had like 15 players. And we had a few injuries. Football season over with. But
did you ever sack yourself? That'd be interesting.
You know what? I did play quarterback, and that's how bad we had it. If I played quarterback at 5'6", yeah, it was pretty tough. Not many options out there. But it was a great time, just that in itself taught me to do what you can with what you have, right? So I always taken that mentality with me no matter where I went and did in life. But my goal is to inspire people back home too. So like, look, guys, you don't have to come. It's not about where you come from. It's about where you want to go. So as long as you put that work in, as long as you got your head screwed on right and you put God first, man, you are going to exceed, especially if you use the gifts and talents that he's already given you. It's like, look, man, I've given you the tools to put you before great people, great men. That's why I love Proverbs 18:16, because it tells you that your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. Simple.
Right.
It's like,
Amen.
So find what your gift is, use it, and you will succeed. It like I said, it's plain and simple. And anybody that's listening or watching, that's all I try to do is I try to be positive in that aspect, and just show them there's hope, and especially in America where you have that opportunity to go from nothing to something. We have so many success stories. If you want to talk about Tyler Perry, if you want to talk about my man Steve Harvey, we have so many actors and celebrities that literally went from homeless to multimillionaires simply not because someone gave them a handout or something like that, but because they chose to start making good decisions. And that's what we got to do. Be accountable.
Clarence Thomas came from dirt. Thomas Sowell came from dirt.
Ben Carson.
Yeah, amazing guys came from dirt.
Now, Topher, where else has that happened though? Where else has that happened but America, right?
Nope. Nowhere else, man. And that's the beauty. And that's why I always tell people, that's why you see so many people running to America. You don't see them breaking down the doors to China or breaking down the gates to some part in Africa or anything. Even Australia is pretty nice, but you just don't see that. And we have to respect that and understand that. I just feel like people have been given the wrong enemy. They have been told that the United States is the enemy. But it's not that. It's just, to me, abuse is when someone takes something and uses it for the wrong reason. And our government has abused their power time and time again. And we have been affected and, been hurt from it. So we got to remember to keep that dissent toward them and not just toward each other. Because once again, we all are pretty much under the same plan. Nobody has anything other than what they've built, what their family built. So that's why it's important to do what I do, so my daughters will have a leg up when they become adults.
Amen. Wow, man. So you went to the military right out of high school?
No, I did 2 years college.
Okay, all right. So went to the military. How long did you serve in the Air Force then?
6 years. 6 years. I was a cryptologic language analyst. My specialty was Hebrew, and
Holy moly.
Yeah, I worked with NSA, Joint Task Force missions. So I got to serve next to the Marines, Navy, Army, Coast Guard, even civilians on a daily basis, which was pretty incredible and a unique experience. The only thing I only thing I really regret about the military was because of my job, I was fixed to a Army base. So I didn't get to experience the full-blown Air Force just extravaganza. Just, oh man, y'all bases are clean, top notch. I didn't get that. I got
no respect for the Air Force and the Army either. You're not going to get it.
So it's funny you say that, Topher. So my brother went to the Naval Academy, graduated from the Naval Academy, and decided to go Marine. And so we always kind of laugh a little bit because my father-in-law was Air Force. And he used to always kind of say, laugh at him and say, why would you, with all the talent you have and as smart as you, why would you be a Marine, And they'd go back and forth about, Marine and Air Force. And he'd say, in the Army, the officer sends the enlisted man out to fight. In the Marines, same things. Navy, same thing. In the Air Force, we send the officers out to go fight. We couldn't say anything about that, right? But no, that's fantastic, man. You could have chosen an easier MOS, man. Holy smokes.
I had a little self-motivation there. I was like, what is going to keep me the furthest from the battlefield? And I was like, nothing like a person that's stuck behind a desk. So that's kind of what I went with. I tried a lot of positions. Nothing really stuck out. And why the heck not? Why not learn another language if someone's going to pay for it and give me the training? And to be honest with you, I'm from Mississippi, and I know you say you could tell in the beginning, but I've lost a lot of that Southern drawl and accent that I had before I joined the military and went to language school. If you would have heard me before, you would need a translator. We'll put it like that.
Well, in all fairness, man, I'm from the South, first and foremost. And then in addition to that, I live in Minnesota. So I'm used to hearing Minnesotans speak all the time. So anything outside of hey there, yeah, you betcha, I pick up on it.
But yeah, so that I wanted to, I was trying to learn Spanish, French, the simple stuff, because you got 4 categories of difficulty. So you got Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 4. Hebrew's Cat 3. I was trying to go for all the Cat 1s. Of course, the military give you a wish list. Like, which language would you like to learn? Okay, I put all in Cat 1. I get my assignment. It was like, yep, you get Hebrew. I'm like, how? Hebrew. The funny thing about Hebrew, it's a completely different lettering system. And not only that, but it's from, you read right to left, not left to right, like English. So everything's flip-flop. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I always tell people, all I did was stick to the books, and I grew close. I grew close to the guy during that time in the basic training and doing my training, my language school, and I just stayed focused, And I ended up being the top of my class, which I'm thankful for. But it was easier. I don't know if it was easier because I don't know. It was just maybe I spoke Hebrew before. I don't know, but it came second nature to me because I saw so many other people struggling. And just moments like that where I triumphed when it looked like all odds were against me just kept proving that, I'm on a path that God wants me to be on, and He's there right beside me, working through me. So my whole life journey, even to where I'm at today, beating council culture, is just me. Not me, you got to thank God. You got to look toward Him because obviously He has something bigger in plan.
Man, that's you're blessing me right now, man. Just hearing, what you've been through, what you've gone through, especially, as of recent, that would embitter a lot of people, man. But I don't hear the bitterness at all in your voice, man. I hear the exact opposite, encouragement. So that's fantastic. I got to ask you. So, I've got a lot of family in Hattiesburg, a lot of family, in Picayune. So that south, western side of Mississippi. So spent a fair amount of time in the Mississippi area, or in the state of Mississippi. Man, there's not a lot of Black conservatives. So how did that come about, man? How did you come to? Were you raised conservative? How did that come about, man?
So I've always been a why guy. I'm just from the beginning.
A white guy?
Yeah, hey, I've been a white guy too, Topher.
A why?
Okay.
A why guy?
A why guy?
I was like,
hold on, man. I already know they think that now.
Wise guy.
Calm down. Don't give them any ammo. I'm telling you, run with it.
I've always been a white guy.
I was what?
Why?
Okay. Why? All right. White guy. Okay. White guy.
Man. Oh,
Sir, I'm not going to tell him. Are you going to tell him? I think who's going to break the bad news?
What? Pow. So I've always been a why guy. And so I used to question everything, and I know it's annoying to my mom because my daughter does it to me, and it's very annoying because it's like, just accept the answer I give you, all right? And he's like, no, I'm gonna keep asking why, And I learned because of that, I kept seeking further truth and just further beyond just the surface level of knowledge that people kept spewing out. I remember asking my mom one day when I was in high school or something like that. She didn't really raise me conservative, but a lot of what I grew up on was conservative, right?
Mhm.
And I didn't know what conservative was until a year and a half ago. I
Okay.
didn't know that was a thing, but I still had the same type of belief system. I just didn't know there was a name for it, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, we went to church every Sunday. Even though my mom didn't go, she sent me, right? Sent me off to church. You go to church. So I sung in the choir and everything else. I was in a community male chorus. So I was just surrounded by that type of activity. Of course, they you weren't gonna have no kids outside of marriage type thing, and that was frowned upon. So many elements like that, doing drugs, bad activity. I was the kid. My mom wouldn't let me go to parties late at night, so it used to frustrate the heck out of me. Right? It's like, man, just let me go. But I can understand why now. So raised very conservative. I'll tell you that if you pull all that together. When I got older, I asked my mom, said, why do you vote Democrat? She literally told me because that's just what we have always done. I
Mm.
was like, really? Like no specific policy, no breakdown of this candidate or what they're trying to push or how they would make an impact on us, nothing, just because it's what we used to do. So when I joined the military, it took me away from my echo chamber. So it took me out of my echo chamber to where I was able to kind of challenge what I've learned growing up. And during that moment, I met a guy named Specialist Melton who was in the Army. And Specialist Melton always used to challenge me mentally about my beliefs, about current events, just so many things that he used to come at me with. He was an atheist, by the way. Not saying that atheist people are bad. He was a really good guy. Just we had different belief systems, so it was challenging. The Bible says when someone's asked for the reason for your belief, you have to be prepared with an answer. So he also prepared me for those type of events. So um, I think it was around Obama's second election. I didn't vote for him the first time I wasn't old enough. So the second time, I was kind of going through everything, and I believe I didn't vote, but I was paying attention. Now, when Trump hit the scene around 2014, it was after the Mike Brown and all this stuff started going down, Trayvon Martin, and I started to kind of see how the media was portraying everything. So it went from Mike Brown had his hands up, don't shoot.
Mhm.
Um, and then when the truth came out that that's not what happened, the neighbor said he never did that. They actually charged the officer, beat the officer. The officer responded like he was supposed to, shot the guy because he reached for his gun. I felt dumb. I felt completely dumbfounded. The worst thing hate feeling is just completely like bamboozled. Like you
Mhm.
can't do that to me. So after that happened, I was like, okay, when stories start coming out, I got to give it a little bit more attention and do a little bit more research now because apparently people are spreading something that's just not happening. And
Mm.
more and more I did that, the more and more I learned, I was like, wait a minute. So black people actually were Republicans first? Like we never was taught this in school. I never knew the first the first 27
Mhm.
senators, black senators were Republicans. I never knew this. Matter of fact, the first black Republican was from Mississippi. They don't teach
Hmm.
us this in school. They don't teach us this. And I was like, okay, so let's look at the party switch. And then I start breaking that down. I was like, did it really switch? I was like, okay, let's not just think about people, right? Let's think about ideology. Okay. Who's anti-guns for black people back in the day? Democrats. Who's very anti-guns today? Democrats.
Mhm.
All right. Um, so it just kept going down. Just who was more about individual liberty? Republicans. Who's more about individual liberty today? Republicans. So it just we was really more Republican than anything back then. But today we have been taught that that's just the opposite, which is just not true. So that's why I appreciate people, like you all and Candace Owens and whole Brexit movement, everybody that's going out here and actually speaking up and educating people because they're not doing it in the institutions that are controlled mainly by the left or liberals at all. Matter of fact, I was reading something about Oregon just introduced a curriculum to where they were trying to say that mathematics was racist.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, huh? Do you know the what's his name? I forget the name. Uh something Johnson. Katrina Johnson, I think was her name. the black math 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 mathematician.
Mathematician.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mathematician that helped send John Glenn to orbit and return him back to safety. I was like, so that racist math helped her do that? So I don't know. I don't know how it's racist. I'm confused.
We just watched that movie again last week. It's my daughter's favorite.
Yeah, Hidden Figures. Oh, it's
Hidden
awesome.
Figures is a blast.
It's an awesome movie. But yeah, it's just things like that. It's just it kind of woke me up in a sense, or at least told me not to believe that there's more than meets the eye type thing. So I just do more research, and yeah, it's crazy to see.
Man. So you kind of mentioned the whole Trump thing, and obviously I've listened to your music. My kids are not. I mean, they're not really big rap fans, right? My kids, they're they're not really into music yet. I mean, they haven't really decided which music that they like, but they are conservative, and they know that they are conservative. They know why they're conservative, and they actually really enjoy listening to your music. My wife is not a fan of rap at all, but she definitely enjoys your music. I think my wife's biggest issue with rap is that in many cases it personifies things that we teach our children is wrong, right? And it glorifies things that we know are not glorifying to God, right? And so, I feel that as a black culture, I feel that we have really let each other down in a lot of the culture, a lot of the things that we give credence to, right? But man, so I mean, so I'm going to come at you a little bit, but all respect though to you. Um, you're really good, man. You're really talented. And most Christian rappers that I've come across, and their bars are kind of weak, right? I mean, they're not they're not they are not extremely talented. But I mean, you could have definitely been a mainstream musician, a mainstream rapper. I mean, what led you down the road to be number one Christian and number two conservative? I mean, that especially as an artist, right? And Doug, you can speak to this. I mean, as an artist, like those two things don't go together. Conservatism is bad enough, but you add Christian on top of it and you're vocal about it, like that's non-existent as artists. So I would like to hear both of you guys. Number one, why is that? And number two, I mean, for you, Topher, what made you decide to go down that road? I mean, because that definitely was the harder route. I mean, I would imagine for your career, right?
It said, narrows the gate. But no, like I said, I grew up in the church, so I already kind of had that anchor there. But it definitely was solidified, into my adult years. I met my wife, and she was far along in the faith walk than me, and she kind of inspired me and showed me, the way. She showed me the way. So I continued to strengthen that relationship with the Lord, and um, it just the more you did that, the more other stuff just became stale to me. I just didn't no longer desire to go out and party. I didn't desire to go out and drink and get drunk and get wasted. I didn't desire to go smoke weed or do any illegal activity. I just, I'm trying to raise I want to be home with my wife. I want to be with my kids. I want to make sure they're straight. I want to make sure the bills are paid for because that's my job as head of the household. That's my job. Lord say, hey, do your job. So I'm a provider. So those type of things kind of steer me that way. And as far as being conservative, like I said, I didn't identify until a year and a half ago. And like you said, I could have just kept it quiet. But I've learned that once again, I was talking about the institutions and education system earlier, is they don't talk about us. They don't bring us out to speak to the youth. They don't do anything when it comes to inclusivity, but specifically not conservatives, but on top of that, black conservatives. Like we're just like no, we are definitely the black sheep. So I was like, I gotta change this up. I don't know how many kids I'm gonna impact. I don't know what path I'm gonna take, but I gotta get this information out here. I gotta introduce this new perspective. I gotta give them options. If all I present is information and different paths and give them options, I've succeeded. Give them different music to listen to. That's an option. And this is kind of what I wanted to do, just give people options because right now they feel like the only option, especially when we was in school, is like either become a pro athlete or go become a mainstream rapper. It's like, no, there's more than one option. You can actually go to school, become a doctor, and be very, very successful. It's not the easy road. Like you said, this is not the easy road being a Christian conservative artist, but it's better. And it has greater benefits, and I have more control over what I want to do and say. And that's one reason why I'm staying independent with what I'm doing. I know you said mainstream artist, but at this point, I've had mainstream success. So I'm a mainstream artist, just not I'm a worldly artist. We'll put it like that.
Yeah.
We've had mainstream success. Hitting #1 on the Billboard was amazing. And that's almost like to put this in category. If you had a #1 draft pick in the NFL or NBA, that's what we were. Like the equivalent of the music industry. The championships to me is like the Grammys. That's when you go to the Grammys and stuff like that. But Billboard is just you can't go higher than the Billboard when it comes to charting. So that's just once again I give all that glory to God because once again I ain't do nothing. I'm a guy from Mississippi with a speech impediment, which most people tell, but I really did. I was a kid going to speech therapy 3 days out of the week until about 5th grade. And yeah, and like I said, even I never had training after that because it's not like we had resources or money to correct anything. I just kept talking, and I just knew I wanted to be in music. Eminem was one of my first inspirations, and my dad is also a blues guitarist and singer, so I kind of got music running through my veins.
In the family. Are you hearing that, Soto? Are you guys picking up my daughter's playing guitar in the next room?
Yeah, I can hear it a little. I thought my daughter was in the other room playing the piano.
If it bugs you, let me know and I'll scream at him.
No, it's fine. So they should be watching this stream in the other room, but
That's true. My family never watches anything I put on the internet at all. I'm kind of relieved.
You should have told her Topher was here though. That would have got her to watch.
Oh yeah, no, and I love all kinds of music. If you can write a hook, I'm in. And you can write a hook, and that's what I love. I just love anything catchy, anything good, and then your lyrics are fantastic. When I also agree with the artist, that's just a super bonus 3,000. But I hear you as just a great artist, and I think the reason why we end up singing about God or our politics is it flows from our heart, and artists really should be more free than they are. When I hear just the same hip hop coming out of guys or the same kind of even visual art and comic books being made, I go, those people they're just kind of photocopying what's in culture. You know what I mean? They're not doing their job as an individual person. Like Topher, you have your own signature of the kind of music you make and the kind of stuff that you'll express is just flowing from your heart. And it breaks my heart that so many people give that up thinking, well, I'm not going to make it unless I embrace this other culture and repeat what they say. And I'm going to try and draft that, right? Yeah. Lo and behold, you end up being hugely explosive and successful because you took your own, you told the truth. And I think that authenticity is also what comes out. Yeah. I don't know how to be another artist. And I think that's a personality type between we artists, certain types that are just like, I'm going to do my thing. And I'm here, I'm here for a short time. This is my signature. I did not get into art to copy anyone else's work. Like that is, and then you're suddenly you find out because you're kind of you're a lone mutant. You're your own guy. Suddenly everyone else is also their lone guy and they happen to agree. And like the only place they can get it now is from Topher because who else is doing what you're doing? There's so few that now you own that market. It's amazing.
Yeah. First of all, Doug, that was a splendid breakdown. But yeah, being you, man, that's kind of why I tell people. It's like someone asked me the other day, say, how do you continue to grow? How do you build an audience? I'm like, first of all, you got to be authentic. because once you build an audience, they're gonna want more and more of that. And if it's not something that you truly are and you put on the front, it's gonna be hard for you to maintain. And people will tell. They have like many lie detectors. Like people know when you're being fake or when you're about to switch up on them. So it's like just be who you are. And if it takes 3-5 years to grow audience versus you being fake and growing one in 6 months, it'd be well worth it. They'll be more invested, and trust me, it'd be easier to maintain because it's who you are. But like you said, it's because I'm being me and I'm talking from my perspective and being authentic. Like you said, naturally, I'm just providing something that's just not out there. Whether that was my intention or not, it's the reality.
Where
And
can this audience buy your work right now if they want to pick it up? Can they buy that CD from your website?
You can't buy the CD, but you can buy the digital downloads from my website. So just go to tophertown.com. That's TOPHERTOWN.com. Right at the top, I have where you click on the image. It'll take you to my Bandcamp, where I have 3 singles up right now. And if you pay attention to that, I'll probably have the album up there by the end of this month.
Okay, so guys, go to Topher Town, hold on to that URL, email it to yourself, and support this guy. This is where you have to do it. Is you have to support these artists if you want to reward good artistry and good behavior. Then it's terrible to do the right thing and then not have people come and support it. And you're going to love this music. It is so patriotic and hardcore when you see the video, man. It got me putting a fist in the air. It is great. And then, of course, the new album, I'm going to support it, and I'll have you on my show as soon as I can. It's going to be great.
And if you've got grandkids, make sure you get them a copy. But yeah, I mean, if you've got kids that are, get them a copy also. But man, I put your video up in our community page, and man, I mean, we had 65-year-olds bumping it. I mean, it was resonating with a lot of people. And so I really can appreciate that. I want to get into a question for both of y'all in just a minute, but Soder, I think we got a couple of super chats we want to go ahead and address real fast.
We got to pay for this channel too. And don't forget, guys, subscribe to this channel and throw this link out everywhere so other people can enjoy this content. Get it out on Twitter, get it out on Facebook.
Thank you.
Topher, Soder, we can't hear you. Yeah. Soder and I are the 2 diversity hires of the show today.
Yes,
we are. They said to get on YouTube. I had to
get two honkies in there.
I muted myself, so this didn't happen. Oh my gosh! All right, it's like, why is Doug cutting me off? What a jerk! Jeez. All right. First up, we have Bahizzy for $2. God bless. I came to party. And finally, we have Wixter for $49.99 saying simply, God bless. Thank you very much, Wixter, and God bless you too.
Amen. So I got to ask you guys. So I'm not artistic. I'm more autistic than artistic. But the one thing I can say about artists is I respect artists. I respect all types of art, and I absolutely I love art of all kinds, right? But the one thing that I know about artists typically is that they are countercultural. They're different. They think different. They see things different. And it's strange to me that with artists, there seems to be this huge push to be a monolith in thought, right? To all think the same way, even though typically they're so countercultural and so diverse in other ways. So why is that? Why is it that there seems to be this singularity of thought amongst artists, even though it goes against who they are as people? I'll ask Doug and then Topher. I'd like to hear your response to that as well.
I think we're a mix. All people, we're part tribal, so we want to belong. And at the same time, we're individuals, and artists probably have that individual side ramped up pretty big so that even artists who conform, they'll all wear blue hair, or they'll all, get the piercings and the tattoos and everything and want to be badass in their own artistic way. And if you start trying to make money, you're seen as a sellout, or if you copy someone else, you're seen as a sellout of some kind. So, but it's a combination of both. And it really is very much my rebellious side that ended up serving me as a Christian, because I found the one truth, which is God, and he gave me permission to rebel from the world. So suddenly I found something to be adherent to, my Lord. And then I looked around at the world and I'm like, this is a land of lies. You look around and you go, I'm just gonna, these people are damaging themselves and they're mental slaves and they're following each other. And I want to bring truth and light to them. So I still think the rebellion is there. It pointed it toward the devil instead of pointing it toward God. And I think a lot of unsaved artists are adhering to the world as their Lord, and then they rebel against God. So it's the same thing, just a different balance. And I would appeal to everyone in the audience, and we're all Christians here, but if you're not, and you want to put your fist in the air in the right place, make sure that you're stabbing the right enemy.
Wow, that's good. That's good stuff, Doug. And obviously, for anybody that has eyes, Doug is the elder statesman. So Doug is kind of the OG.
I'm the 54-year-old man.
No, but I mean, it's
sounds
interesting.
Sounds like a 70s film. 54-year-old man, you're climbing over skyscrapers or something.
The reason why I bring that up, and not to I love Doug, but not to age shame or anything like that, 'cause that's not what we're about. But the reason why I bring that up is that, we're so, especially as Americans, we're so short-sighted at times, right? And we look at it, oh my gosh, things have gotten to be so bad. And the Bible does say there's nothing new under the sun, right? And so you've been an artist and been in the business longer than I've been alive, longer than Topher's been alive, longer than Soder's been alive. Mm-hmm. You were an artist before we were born. And that's not coming at you sideways. It's just that's the truth of it. And so you have dealt with these challenges even
Cancel
back
culture
then.
Up the butt all day. Cancel
so it's
culture.
it's not a new thing.
No, it is ramping up. It is getting worse. It is getting more culturally acceptable to destroy someone for their religion or their politics. And even our side on the right is having to start engage on saying, I'm not going to fund Disney anymore. I'm not going to fund whatever. We do that too. And I don't tell people, I don't shame them if they choose to watch Disney or if they choose to support whatever artists. That's one line that I won't cross, is trying to peer pressure other people into what to do. But it has been there for a while, and it is ramping up, and it's getting more socially acceptable to flat out just destroy someone's career over a tweet. All of us have made mistakes, and now our mistakes they live on that internet forever, or someone can dig up even a personal email and just go after you. And again, Christianity offers me this other great move, in that Paul boasted in his sin. He said, when we admit that we are weak, that's when God is strong. So I've only told my audience, I'm the worst person I know. I'm the biggest sinner I know. And when Google releases all of our search histories one day, we'll find out exactly just how bad we all are, and I'm just like, but it is. I was also a student of Andrew Breitbart, so he was a little older than me, and he gave me my first writing gig at Big Hollywood back in 2007, I think it was, when that started. And he told me, once someone cancels you and destroys you, and they can't take anything else from you, you've been freed. They can't do anything worse to you. I mean, culturally, on the puppet show. And suddenly you're free to go, well, now you just lost your threat to me. You can't hurt me anymore. So now I can tell the truth. Now you've awakened a dragon.
So that's probably what the Bible means, where there's freedom and truth, right? It's like, because you behave a certain way, or someone can kind of blackmail you, pressure you, because you don't want to release your deep, dark secret. But once it's out there, you just kind of embrace it. And I've seen so many people embrace that. And when it happens, and they are, almost projected, propelled into a brighter, more successful future. And then and then you have the other people who allow that to kind of run them into the ground and But yeah, man, like you say, you just kind of go with it. It's okay, let's bring it on. Let's go. If you're ready, I'm ready to go toe to toe with you.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you're going to walk around acting all righteous and sinless, Topher, then you're terrified of this reputation.
Yeah.
But if you realize if you confess and say, I'm a sinner and I'm not righteous by my own doing, it's by Christ in me, and I can identify with his shame. He was stripped naked on a cross, and he was false tried. Suddenly, and Paul is mistried and put in prison. He didn't say, "Where's my lawyer? Where's my rights?" He said, "Hooray! I get to identify with the suffering of Christ." So it's like a win-win. You lose, you win, and then you put all of your career and all your life in God's hands and say, "God, as long as you'll have me succeed, I'll succeed. And if you want me to fail, or if you need me to go to prison, I'm on board with it. I'm not above any of this stuff. I'm on with you. I'm on with his plan." So I always see myself as canceled. Guys like Topher you're vulnerable, but you're totally reliant on God. And I wouldn't mess with a man of God because God can do anything. It's scary out there, guys. Aslan is not a tame lion, as C.S. Lewis said. He will jack you up.
I wish they would make those movies of all the books, especially The Last Battle. There's so many good parts of that one. Just a shame they always start out with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then the kids get older and they're not cute anymore, and they can't go back and do the ones where they're young again. Right. Such a shame. Such a shame.
Real quick, Topher, I don't mean to put you off. We had a couple more super chats coming. I want to make sure
get the super chats in. Get them.
Yeah.
All right. Up first, 118 chosen for $20. Didn't send a message, but thanks, buddy.
Wow, thank you.
And Buddy Barker for $5. You guys are my kind of people. I'm supporting. Thanks.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Tophertown.com.
And so, I've been on both sides, right? I mean, I once upon a time, I was very much caught up in the whole, Obama, first black president, this is real advancement, and in a lot of ways it was.
Absolutely, it was.
We've had a lot of troublesome past in America, no different than any other country. Let's be honest and fair about that. But to look at how far we've come as such a young nation, we have to be proud of that because we've made a lot of advancements in a very short period of time. I never voted
for the guy, but I was still proud that we had a black president. I thought it was awesome.
Well,
it was a good turning point.
I was just excited because I thought we were finally at a place where we had turned a corner, where people could just finally just let it go and just say, nobody is holding me back but me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
that was my hope. Right. That was my hope, was that people could finally say, all right, look, I can be president if I want to be, so my successes and failures rise and fall on me. But that's not really what we got, which, hey, but I've been really excited about this MAGA movement, right? Because I'm involved in Brexit, I'm involved in other things, and you guys know that. And our goal was to get Candace challenged us to have 20 in 2020, 20% of the black vote in 2020. And up here in the Midwest, we worked really hard. We had over 35% of black men that voted for Trump in 2020. Right. We never thought we'd get to that point. I want to say that in the Midwest, over 25% of black people voted for Donald Trump, which imagine what he could have done if the media would have been fair. Right. Not even if they would have been in his corner, but just fair. If even 50% of the news was positive and 50% was negative, I can't imagine what that could have done. But as far as you go, Topher, just being fair and honest with you. After seeing the hell that rappers like, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Ice Cube, Lil Pump and others went through, right? Just for being for saying not mean things about Trump, right? What possessed you to write The Patriot?
Well, if I had to be real, it was because everything that went down in 2020. You know, if 2020 never happened, I probably would never written The Patriot.
Mm.
I was heavily involved. I went to multiple Trump rallies. Matter of fact, I went to his first one when he started back during the pandemic in Tulsa. So I went up there to Tulsa, and December 12th, I was there with Women for America First, where they had a Trump rally. Bryson Gray was with me before you got to blow. I got to hop on stage with those cool fellas. First time I did it without a mic. I didn't know what to do, so I was up there flailing my arms like a bird. Um, but it was interesting because one of the things I try to do is be in a situation. If someone says there's no races there, go and see, right? Don't just take someone's word for it and go check it out, right? And I go check it out. No, it's it's not like that. It's nothing like that. It's an amazing time. Same thing with BLM protests or this and that. Like I go check them out and see what's going on. And so while I was there, I just kind of see what's going on, take it in, and we was marching. I heard a lot of Bryson being played. I heard a lot of Forgiato Blow being played. Heard no Topher. Kind of felt bad. I'm not gonna lie. It hit me right here. I was like, yo, Topher is an artist. I'm an artist. I'm a rapper. Yo, why don't you play my music? Then I realized I have great music, but I just don't have music that's for the movement. I need to create music for the movement, like something very specific. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go home. I try to reach out to Forgiato. He ended up getting sick, so he wasn't able to record. So I was like, okay, I gotta put something out. I gotta do something here. And so that next week, because I remember it was December 12th, and I released the song "The Patriot" on December 19th. So it wasn't that far, right? No time lacking. I was on TikTok and I heard this just awesome acapella by Natty Dread. She's from Scotland, so she had the Scottish accent and everything. And what you hear in the song being sampled is her vocals, but it's actually sped up. What she sung was a little bit slower, and it was just beautiful, just almost angelic, right? And I was like, man, I got to do something with this. So I made a post on Instagram. I said, hey, any producers that's been willing or wanting to work with me, do something with this, and we'll see if we can, come up with something. I did that, and I wanted to do that because I like to start and create from a positive place. So I don't really like to force people to create something because I feel like when you do that, then you're not really gonna get the best. And with music, you can tell like small things. You can tell if you've been in music for a long time when someone was probably not at their top game or somebody really just learned the lyrics, and you know how it goes. And so you can kind of tell. And I wanted this song to be genuine and just someone who's super proud. And no matter where this song took off, they're gonna enjoy the journey. My guy Killer Vic Beats hit me up, who's also a Marine veteran, by the way. And he said, hey man, I got this track for you. I flipped the vocals. I'm gonna send it to you here in a minute. He sent it to me that night around 12:30. I listened to it, instantly fell in love. And then I wrote the verse the next day, posted that to TikTok. It blew up. Then everybody wanted a full song, right? So it's kind of how it goes. TikTok is almost like as they call it, temperature check. Almost. Yeah. So if you put something out and it doesn't do anything, probably not something good you want to release.
So what were your followers like before you launched on TikTok and then after the song?
This same. I was already in the 600s before I released the song.
Wow.
And I have not left the 600s because TikTok censors so bad. It's censorship for conservatives across the board. Yeah. I've been banned on Instagram Live for the dumbest stuff. I remember I performed at the Capitol or near the Capitol. I won't say on the Capitol before they come light me up, but I was near the Capitol on January 6th when they stormed it, and they removed my song from Spotify that same day.
Wow.
I guess they associated the song with the riots, which I don't know how they made that. But on top of that, while I was there, they also banned my video and my live on IG because of the video I posted of me performing on stage. And needless to say, my song contains no cussing. So no profanity, no explicits, no vulgarity, no nothing. Just straight up something that you can rock to with your 2-year-old to your 82-year-old. No one's gonna feel offended. Unless you're a snowflake. That's a different story.
Yeah.
So it was a really great song. Ended up being really great. And after I finished my verse and went back and forth with the producer, because I was like, hey man, we gotta make this, we gotta have this type of hit, we gotta, bring this instrumentation up. So I kind of just was in the lab with him, going back and forth about 4 or 5 times before we got to where we thought it was perfect. Then I sent it to the Marine rapper who hopped on it, and that was it. Sent it over to the mixer. My mixer, by the way, is 2 Pro Beats, and he's all the way in Romania.
Wow.
So,
He's fantastic, though. It's a great song. I'm telling you, I listen to the song, I watch the video, I go, man, this guy knows what he's doing. This is good.
I've been working with him for 3-4 years now. So, and just another thing, real quick. Let me digest. What's the word? Whatever.
Digress.
I'm gonna put a quick plug. Get with people that you can grow with. I know so many times people want to just have the instant microwave meal and it just doesn't come out right. You can tell when something's microwave and you can versus something that's actually been cooked over the stove or in the oven. And that's what people are enjoying today. Our success didn't happen overnight. It wasn't something that we just threw together. Or the reason why it seemed thrown together is because we've done this so many times that we can do that. Because we understand, we know how each other are going to bounce, and we do that. So I've been working with this engineer for 4 years, and I've been working with a Marine rapper for more than 3 years. So, that chemistry and everything's there. So just to put that out there, no, there's no such thing as overnight success. And if it is literally 1 in probably a billion. Just overnight.
And find your friends so that you have like-minded friends, so that you're not alone. You don't feel alone. You've got guys to fight with and work with.
Yeah. Right.
The only people I know that have overnight success is Doug TenNapel.
My YouTube channel was a legit overnight success.
Everything he touches turns to gold.
I don't know what happened, but I'm friends with Tommy Profit, who produces NF. We're having lunch this Wednesday, and I'll definitely drop your name to him, Topher. I'll give me your contact info over on our Twitter feed, and I'll talk to him about you.
Hey, tell Nate I said what up, man.
I will. He's a good guy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. So I don't want to keep you guys too much longer, but I do have a couple more questions for both of y'all. But Soder, we got a few super chats came in. Let's go ahead and read those.
Oh my gosh, do we ever? All right, Nancy Ann Irving for $5. Bless you all. Thank you, Mary Ann, or Nancy Ann. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Arabella Dinglehofer for $15. Love this forum. Thank you guys. Thank you. Charlie Mukes seems like a Canadian spelling to me, but didn't send a message, but did send $20.
Wow.
Norman Seal, also no message, but $5. Thank you guys. And Slow Motion Racing for $14.99 says, can we see a future of an election overturned, kind of like what is going on in Myanmar? Love you all. Gosh, I hope not. That sounds absolutely horrifying and a terrible time for everyone involved.
Man, so Doug, I don't know if you got a chance to see the video that I dropped this afternoon, or we dropped this afternoon. Yeah. Just comparing the modern Patriot Party to a lot of what the civil rights movement went through. But, I think it was Clarence Thomas that talked about how it is far worse to, Jim Crow laws, for example, would tell a person because of the color of their skin that they weren't allowed to go here, go there. Mm-hmm. But I would challenge that what we're going through now is worse, because if you tell me I can't come to your house or I can't come to your store because I'm Black, I can find another store to go to. And I don't want to be there anyway, right? But man, when you take away a person's ability to think for themselves, right? When you take away a person's ability to speak their mind and to think differently, and isn't that like where all advancements come from? Isn't that where art comes from? I mean, it's just being able to think outside the box.
We're not where Jim Crow was for Blacks yet, but we'll get there, because it's the same evil heart that is the force behind racism that says something dumb, like you should judge someone's character by the color of their skin, that says you should judge someone's character by their position on gay marriage. You know,
Well, I mean,
that they should be disqualified from working.
I would agree with that, man. But and I'm not trying to play this card, but I think Topher knows where I'm coming from. As a black conservative, like
Yeah.
you are considered to be the lowest of the low.
Yeah, you're
Like-
evil. You're a threat to their brainwashing communists, their giant propaganda poster. You're counter evidence to this sham they're trying to pull off. You know?
Yeah.
That's why you're dangerous. But I would argue, just like the civil rights movement, is you can't fool all the people all the time. You really can't. And so you don't have to fear media's oppression. You don't have to fear stolen elections. You don't have to fear even corrupt machines and things like that. Because in the end, the truth is a bitch. And the people are more important than voting machines. And we've all heard them loud and clear.
Yeah.
You're not going to change these people's minds. You're not going to silence them. You can't imprison 70 million people. You just can't stop it. We're too driven and we're too convinced. And that's the most dangerous thing. You know, they can knock off a few of us on the edges, and they will. And we mourn them and we fight for them. But my ultimate message is it's great living in the truth. It's great being a happy patriot. And I am encouraged by the sheer number of old school conservative thinking Americans that are still there. They're not fooled. So that ought to bring us a lot of encouragement. The patriot on your right and the patriot on your left, just like in the military, in the end, it won't be your mission that you die for. It's the guy on your right and the guy on your left. It's America's strength is its people. It is not in the voting machines. It's not in our soil. It is that contractual idea that we all know in our hearts, and it is in the red-blooded American, and it can't be stopped. And these people on the left it's an atheistic worldview and a materialist worldview that thinks that if you exert enough power, all these people will cave. If you take away a guy's job and take away his money, he will sucker in and cave every time. It doesn't. It's proof just in Topher going, I'm going to be this seemingly unpopular form of music artist. And you can find a success through that, the third way. So I'm encouraged by it. I know times are hard, and I know that I think in a way, this is the millennial in all of us, the spoiled, rotten American brat that just thinks, I want it to be easy. I want to be able to sit back, have the election won. I don't want to have to volunteer. I don't want it to be a hard battle. I don't want it to take more than I don't want to wait 4 years for another election. I want it now, and I want it easy, and I want my juice box. It doesn't work that way. But long suffering, I think we're going to win in the long run. I think the truth is very difficult to get around.
And that's the thing, right? Because, I mean, the numbers even show that specifically in the minority community, Trump got a higher vote than he did the previous year. I mean, he probably got one of the highest margins for a Republican candidate in a long time. So that tells us that what we're doing, being vocal, being visible, which is very important. You can be vocal, but being visible is like making yourself a target. And to all the people that's out here taking those bullets, I appreciate that. We need you, because that's the only way people are going to wake up and say, okay, why would this person choose such a hard path, right? Because there's going to be some people that's going to question and be like, why are you really standing on that hill?
But you are driven. You did join the Air Force. This is where having an alcoholic mother might have made you tougher. You're unique in that you're the tip of the spear going in, and you're a fighter, and you're not the kind of guy that can be purchased. I can tell.
Yeah, if I could be purchased, that would have happened a long time
ago.
Only person that purchased was Jesus Christ, and that was on the cross. And I appreciate that buy right there. But yeah, and so it's just one of those things where Doug was saying is long suffering, and I'm prepared for it. A lot of us don't understand that. Taking back some of the ownership, to me, is more it's exposing so much of our weaknesses. Before, like he said, we was kind of like, okay, cool. I just keep playing and dancing around in Hollywood and being a part of their club and clique. And then you realize as soon as they don't want you in, they kick you out. Then like, what the heck I'm gonna do? It's like, yeah, we need people creating our own businesses, and whether you wanted to be in that position or not, this is just a new doorway that you can allow God to kind of power you through and help
Yeah.
you create for others.
And going independent is the way to go, because you're not going to be able to sing the songs that you sing for a major label unless they find out that, lo and behold, conservative Christian black rap is popular this week. And then they'll offer you a deal. As soon as you're done, they'll discard you. I got my Emmy nomination. I've got my shows. I did all the Hollywood work. I'll never get hired in Hollywood again because of my mouth, my huge mouth. But independently, I've made way more money independently. I've had way more loyalty of my fan base of people who are rabid to support me. I hope to plug you in with way more of my audience, Topher. And look at this show. There's 4 of us. There's 3 of us on this show right now, but there's 4 of us on this show, and there's thousands of people in the audience right now. We're all on the same page. We're not going anywhere. There is support. There is. I mean, I'd do this if I was alone, and we're not alone.
Right. And that's what they try to make it seem like we're alone. It's like, no, that Trump supporters don't want things like that. Or that's why they try to remove some of the bigger voices because of our reach. They don't want us to reach the masses to let them know that, no, it's a lot of freedom over here if you come over here. But yeah.
They crushed your song and thought you'd go away, Topher. They took away your platform and thought you'd go away. They just put the fight in your belly.
It typically works, but I found that it's kind of hard to be slandered when you don't do anything. It's like, I bet there was like, what kind of dirt can we dig up on this dude? It's like, I don't know. He's decorated veteran, doesn't break the law. Not like he's using drugs or anything like that. He's not like out here crazy with women. I don't know. What, let's just try to counsel him. Maybe this will work. Maybe we'll just counsel him for something, and that didn't work. And nothing's gonna work. And that's not just because I'm perfect. It's just because God he's going to get done what he wants done. As long as he have a willing servant and vessel, it will get done. And I've told him, send me, I go. I'm ready. We had to have people like Martin Luther King. Mm-hmm. We can go through history. We can point them out. Abraham Lincoln even had to stand up there one day. It's like we have so many people that had to stand on that hill and die. And I'm willing to do that. Not because I just feel some type of self-righteousness. It's just that I know how important it is when to have somebody to speak up when no one else can.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I don't want my daughters to look back and be like, Dad, what were you doing in this time when the communists were taking over America? Wow. Oh, well, I was performing with Cardi B, talking about some WAP. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We were turning up. Like that did nothing. I'd rather put out a song called "A Patriot," which has been phenomenal, by the way, because I've had people reach out to me and say they've literally included that into their lesson plans in school. Like that's the type of penetration I've had with this song, and that's the type of penetration we can continue to have if we, as conservatives, continue to put out great quality content.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not just because, we can say, oh, because of my conservative beliefs, I got kicked. Sometimes just because you were whack or you got whack and you used to be good and no longer good and they got rid of you, right?
I do lose a lot of work because I'm a legit asshole. So God doesn't have to take blame for that.
Exactly.
But the audience,
I don't think you're an asshole, by the way, just put it out there, but I'm right.
good too. There's a soft side. There's a chewy middle to this Snickers bar. You guys do have to support the artists. I mean, this is where the audience comes in. We're mass media artists. This show is a mass media art show. We're mass media artists. We go to you, put our thing out there, and you can vote with your wallet. It's a great thing to do. And we're not producing B-level work. We're putting out great work. My comic books are great. My animation is great. Topher's music is great. This show is great. You guys got to hit like, hit the subscribe. I know it's tiring to hear that all the time, but it's not, I hope you can see in our hearts that it's not about money. We have to pay rent, but it's not about money. It'd be so much easier to do something else. I mean, I could draw porn all day and make more money. It's not about that bottom line. It's actually funner to tell the truth and get everybody angry about telling the truth. It's just a blast.
Yeah, I think
Look at
You
look
do
at
know,
look at
Doug.
you over there.
Doug, you do know my mama is watching this, right?
You did a good job, but we got to put him in a timeout. We got to put little Q.
Doug's gonna get a DM later.
Quentin
So,
goes in a timeout.
like, hey, so when you gonna come out with that porno? Animated, right?
Oh my goodness.
It's like,
Oh my goodness.
someone's gonna circle back to this.
Okay. Circle back.
Good point.
Wait, you work for the White House?
My art friends
but-
literally do say that they had to do furry porn to make money. I'm going, you don't have to do that. They're like, no, I have to. I'm like, and they're all going, Doug, it's easy for you because you're famous because you made Earthworm Jim. Then I opened up a political channel 3 months ago and no one knows, hardly anyone knows that I made Earthworm Jim, and I made more in 1 month. I made like $160,000 in 1 month off YouTube advertising. I never saw that coming. I go, I don't know where this comes from. This came from like another planet.
Well, hey, so speaking of, I want to go back to the whole circle back thing.
Get on the mic.
So, the circle back joint you did was fantastic. Doug, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it, but if you didn't, go back and listen to it. Dude, I'm surprised the White House hasn't called you already. Like, you should not have done that to Jen, man. Come on now. I think we all are kind of in mourning. We all want Kayleigh McEnany back because, I mean, that was must-see TV. And I'm not sure who this new person is, but she's terrible. Absolutely trash.
Horrible.
But I just don't. I don't find her very informative. Right. I just really don't. And I've tried, I've tried to listen, but like she doesn't know anything. Right. Yeah. She's about as useless as her boss. But yeah, you kind of went in on her, and I thought that was
it's the downgrade.
It really is.
The Biden downgrade is across the board, man. There's no meritocracy over there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, man. So yeah, if you guys haven't heard Circle Back, you need, and it was funny, man. So I listened to it, and I actually had somebody in the comment section that actually dropped a link to it. On my channel, it was like, hey, I don't know if you guys have heard about this guy Topher, but this is fantastic. And so it's crazy, but YouTube in the same time, man, you live and you die by it, right? Mm-hmm. Because here I was at like 6 o'clock in the morning. My wife and I are sitting there having some coffee. I'm looking through my suggested videos, and lo and behold, you were in there. And so, and I just want to say how humble, and I mean, this guy was #1 on the Billboard charts, right? And so I listened to the song. My wife was like, what is that? She said, that's actually pretty good. And so I said, man, I got to see if I can get this guy on the show. And then, of course, I read a little bit more about your story and how, they tried to cancel you. They tried to destroy you. And I'm like, man, you can't destroy talent like this. You can't destroy when God has his hand on somebody like that. You cannot destroy it. And so I got a chance to. I reached out to him, Doug, and on Twitter, and we'll need to put your Twitter handle in the description also.
Already done.
So make sure you follow this guy.
Follow on Twitter right now. Click that link.
Absolutely, but I reached out to him, and it wasn't even 20 minutes. He reached back and says, "Heck yeah, I'll come on the show." And man, I was I'm thinking, man, this guy is #1 on the Billboard charts, and he's actually responding to me. That was crazy. So, but no, man, it really is a pleasure to have both of you guys on here, because if we don't support each other as conservatives, right, we're no better than the left is. We can complain about the left. We complain about all the things that the left has done. But there are 80 million of us, right? Mm-hmm. There are 80 million of us. If we decide to all push and pull in the same direction, nobody can stop us.
That's right.
Nobody. Do you know the type of buying power that we have? Do you know the type of support that you have when you have 80 million fellow Americans that are behind you? And those 80 million have kids and grandkids, And the number's growing every day, guys. It really is. Regardless of what you see in the media, hear in the media, that number is growing on a daily basis because they see what's going on. People are becoming awake. And I've tried to get this across to the channel, the church, and I'm not trying to preach to everybody here, but I'm going to speak the truth. The church was never stronger than when it would face persecution. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that America will ever be stronger than what it will be coming out of this chapter that we are in. Because when people face adversity, they become fortified. And we are in our fortification process right now. And I look forward to the diamond that comes out after this pressure. You know, my papa used to say pressure make diamonds or bust pipes, one of the two. Well, this pipe's not getting busted. It's going to make diamonds. So I got one question for the both of y'all before we go. I know, Doug, you got to get to bed.
That's right.
So I don't want to keep you up too much later. And you're an hour ahead of us anyway. So in all fairness, but Soder, we got a couple more super chats.
We got a lot more. We might need to do the question so Doug can get to bed.
No,
first.
hit the super chats. Go ahead. I like hearing the cash register go.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Zero rose up for $50 with the super chat, but no message. Oh, you had like 200. No, you had like 500 characters on that one.
You could have written a novel.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Gary Marshall for $10. Gary Marshall for $10 wrote more than you. You could have said anything. Congrats, Q, on 50K. Thank you for always bringing us the truth. Also, agnostics makes 20 to 30% of the population. That really is, in my opinion, an untapped voter base for us. First Amendment matters for all.
Amen. That's right.
That's true.
Wendy Jennings sends a super chat for $5, but no message. You had like 100 characters, Wendy. Could have asked us anything. November 24/8 donated $4.99 and no message. And finally, not finally. Actually, there's so much more. I need to scroll up.
But we thank you.
Oh, Charlie Mukes for $10. Tell me President Trump has heard The Patriot. That is an amazing song and it should be played at all the rallies.
Just
wouldn't that be something?
Topher, do you have a confirmation?
Real quick, CPAC's coming up. Trump's gonna
be. Is that a hint?
All right.
I hope that's a hint.
And someone reached out and asked if Trump could walk out to the Patriot. Just so I just want to say, if he does, that's a president that walked out to my song.
That's right.
All you MCs out there.
God, what a time to be alive.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to get Q's channel shut down. It could be a current
I don't know. It's not a fact, but someone did reach out and asked if they could.
Sweet.
Hey.
But we're all praying. So
yeah.
Hey man. You got a few thousand patriots that are praying right now, man. So man, that's wow. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's you know what Joseph said, what y'all meant for evil, or what the devil meant for evil, God meant it for good. So your story's not over yet, man. It's just getting written.
Oh, so it's gonna be good. Man. The best is ahead for you, man. I just hope I get a good seat to watch it, man. I just want to watch your blessings overflow. So all right, so I didn't mean to interrupt you because it looks like there's a few more coming in.
That's what super chats are for, interruptions. Shab Cheeky for $10 just sends a smiley face. Jana Bell for $19.99. I hope you make this a regular live together. Such great spirit, positive, and gives us all hope for the future of true patriots. Are we returning, Q?
Always.
Well, I mean that's up to Topher and Doug. They're the we're just peons. So
yeah, usually Q calls me in the middle of the night 5 times a day. So that's just we're letting you in on one of our private conversations right now.
Look, I'll gladly come back. You know, let's schedule something after the album's released, those few things, and yeah, we'll definitely come back.
Awesome.
All right. Lizzie Beth, 1973, $4.99, no message. Thank you very much, by the way. Barry Kaywood, also no message, but sends us $5.
Sweet.
And oh my gosh, there's even more coming in. Scarab, $77.99 for $20 says, thank you for getting the truth out there. All of you are truly awesome. And I think finally, yes, finally, Summer Bingham for $3. Thank you all. You are speaking truth.
Amen.
Clap, heart, US sunflower. This might be CIA glow talk. I'm not sure, but we'll find out.
All right. So I want to ask you both. So I'm gonna ask you first, Topher. What advice would you give artists? What advice would, especially conservative artists, because I know there's a lot of them in the audience. What advice would you give them, especially now? I mean, because they're meeting adversity, and clearly you've met some of that as well. It's easy to get in your feelings, about that type of thing. But what advice would you give them?
To once again just be authentic, be yourself, and know that you're taking the tough road. Know that no music outlet that normally posts a bunch of craziness, they will not touch you. Number one Billboard artist independent here, and not one music, not BET, not World Star, not Hip Hop DX Complex, nobody that usually highlights anybody and everybody for anything. No one reached out, even reposted, or even asked for an interview or talked about my story. No one's going to tell your story, so you got to tell it yourself. And so get out there, put your music out there, and don't just put something up and just expect people to support you simply because you're a conservative. No, put some time into it, invest into it. I've invested thousands of dollars into my home studio, so that's why my music sounds high quality. I've invested into making sure that I got some talented people around me. I got some talented artists, talented engineers, talented producers. These are all things that you got to invest in. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's music, but it's still a business. So treat it as such. So get out there, put the time in, put your 10,000 hours in, and yeah, say something. And people, I realize that people want to hear something, especially the older crowd, right? They want to hear something. So give them something to hear, right? Let's talk about something that they can relate to. If you want to talk about, like I did Gen Psyche or current events, by all means do it. But make sure you're putting quality time into it. And never sign a deal. Never sign a deal.
They'll lock you up for life. I would just underline the same thing.
That's what Democrats do, though, right? They lock you up for life.
They lock you up for life for what's in your head. I got to underline what Topher said again. Is your worldview is one thing, and the skill you bring for your art form is another thing. And that skill, a lot of times, people that have the right idea but the wrong execution. It's all content, no presentation. And we do still love and respect truth, goodness, and beauty in the arts. We still love good, high production value. We still love things that took you a lot of time to work on, a lot of skill, those 10,000 hours of building it up. I totally agree with that. So the only thing I would add to that, so the right message and the right amount of skill, and then to be someone who makes things. We were all put here to make something. And I think a lot of artists talk about creating more than they spend time creating. And I'd like to see more people just do. And with those hours, those 10,000 hours, that's where a lot of the skill comes from, and finding your own voice and finding what you have to say. So create often, make all the time. That's about it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, well, it's a good day. It's been a good day, except for that doggone Mitch McConnell. So for any of you guys that are out there that are in Kentucky, vote him out.
That guy was nasty.
Oh my goodness, man.
He's inviting civil lawsuits against Trump, right? Did I hear that right?
Yeah. So he said he's morally responsible, which I don't understand. Either he's guilty or he's not guilty. So I don't like double-minded or double-tongued people.
Yeah.
I don't. If let your yay be yay, let your nay be nay, and don't play games. So that really bothered me. But you know, that's another day. I guess another time. But that really didn't sit well with me for him to attempt to um, to hold our president morally responsible, even though, as I've said before, Mitch is the one who decided not to beef up security that day. Him and Nancy Pelosi are the ones that were responsible for beefing up security. They had the FBI intelligence. They knew that people were coming to the Capitol. They chose not to protect the people in there, and yet he wants to pass the buck. That is morally reprehensible as far as I'm concerned. So for his talk about morals, he can miss me with that one. So I think we have one more super chat, and then we can get going. I want to make sure before we go, I want you to put in all the plugs. I'm not going to ask you for a freestyle this time, but if Trump walks out to your song, you got to come on. You got to give us a freestyle. All right, it's straight just for OOTD, right? Doug, you agree, right?
Fact.
All right,
that's a fact.
Do it. Hey, I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
All right, sounds good.
Acapella, so, we're gonna do it.
Do it.
Are you okay, Doug?
Doug, please don't
I'll beatbox.
Doug, please don't ever do that again, man. You scared me, man.
It's scary when I throw down. It's very scary.
All right, go ahead. So,
all right, I'm sure there's going to be a couple more popping in. Yeah, there they are. Jeez. All right, first up,
Quit giving us money all the time, people. Why?
I don't know what's wrong with them. They just. All right, first up, Charlie Mo for $10. Q, didn't mean to steal your thunder. Congrats on the 50K subs, but great news on CPAC. And finally, 118 chosen for $20. I pray someday the news is broadcasted by powerful yet soft-spoken voices like the four of you. How positive would that be? Thank you very much.
Awesome.
First time I've been called soft-spoken.
Well, you know.
Maybe they just haven't watched your channel enough, Doug.
All right, so real quick, from your lips, from your mouth, please tell us where we can follow you, where we can support you, where we can get your music. If you can go ahead and plug that, and then give us a little insight on the album, what we can expect from the upcoming album.
Too easy. So you can find me at Topher Town Music, TOPHERTOWN Music, on any platform: Twitter, IG, TikTok, Topher Town Music. YouTube is just youtube.com/Topher Town without the music. It's just Topher Town. I'm about to hit 50K tonight, so I'm right along with you. Thank you.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure a lot of your followers over there right now subscribing, so I appreciate that. But yeah, so 50K, and the album's gonna be called No Apologies. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, get off my chest. Just maybe 8 to 9 songs just to get something out. And then I'm gonna work on my next album. I plan on doing a tour with Bryson Gray for y'all to everybody, probably called the Patriot Tour. We don't know. Just something that people can feel excited about, to know that they can come listen to some patriotic, God-fearing, country-loving, Christian music that you can bring anybody to. That's really dope. And that's one thing I appreciate about the movement is we're not just your average artists. It's like we have some really great production, lyrics, techniques that can stand against any mainstream artists at the moment. So that's what we're pushing right now. So No Apologies will be dropping by the end of this month. So be on the lookout. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora, all under Topher. Right. So thank you guys for streaming. And like I said, looking forward to bringing you more music. Let's change the culture, baby.
Amen. Let's do it. So, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. This will not be the last time you see us. One of these days, Doug, if I get 100,000 subs, Doug might actually let me come on his channel one day.
Yeah, you guys got to get him up to 100. I'll bring him on my channel.
Yeah, I'm not big enough yet for not for Doug's platform, but thank you guys so much. Hey, if you are not currently subscribed to Out of the Darkness, make sure you please press that subscribe button. Like this video, give it thumbs up. Let's push it up the algorithm. Let's make sure that people get to know this man. When we have people who are doing the right thing and doing it the right way, we must support them, because the left needs to know that we support our own, we follow our own, we take care of our own. And when they see, the only thing that most of these execs really care about is their bottom line. When they see that we appreciate morality, we appreciate patriotism, we appreciate God-fearing people, they will be forced to leave us alone, and they will be forced to make room, right? Make room for what we're doing. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for being on tonight. And I definitely look forward to having more conversations with you guys future. So you guys have a fantastic night, and we'll see you next time.
Oh,
Deuces.
good night, everyone.